From trade issues to NATO spending, Donald Trump had made no secret of his dislike of the European Union before he took charge of the White House. After taking office in January 2017, Trump seemed to shift his tone on Brussels. But actions speak louder than words. He has infuriated the EU by withdrawing from various deals and imposing tariffs on both industrial and consumer goods imported from the bloc. Now, ahead of a NATO summit in Brussels, Trump has targeted Europe's powerhouse, Germany, accusing it of being controlled by Russia.
But Germany is totally controlled by Russia because they were getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new pipeline. But Germany, as far as I'm concerned, is captive to Russia because it's getting so much of its energy from Russia. So we're supposed to protect Germany, but they're getting their energy from Russia. Explain that. And it can't be explained, you know that.
So Trump's main argument was that Germany has become too dependent on Russian gas as a way of undermining the autonomy of Germany. Now, of course, his main concern isn't necessarily with German autonomy. Rather, he would like to see Germany buying American LNG. So it has an economic component, definitely, in terms of why he's arguing that Germany is captive to Russia.
Later, after a face-to-face meeting with Trump, German Chancellor Angela Merkel responded by saying Germany makes independent policies and decisions. Besides Germany's energy deals with Russia, US President Donald Trump also accused Germany of failing to meet its obligations to NATO. During the summit, Trump demanded a commitment from NATO allies that they spend 4% of their annual income output on the military alliance. That's double current targets. Only 8 out of 29 NATO nations will meet the 2% target this year, while Germany's financial contribution stands at 1.2%. And Trump is already furious about the issue. Last year, the US president even threatened that he might not defend those NATO member states that refuse to meet their obligations. Trump's fierce criticism of Germany in particular and NATO in general comes ahead of his summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Finland on Monday. Last month, Trump called for Russia to be readmitted to the G7 club of world leaders, a request that shocked Washington's allies who have long been accusing Moscow of pursuing expansionist policies. It appears that Trump getting too cozy with the Kremlin boss has earned him a firestorm of rebukes from both sides of the Atlantic.
Well, I would first point out that the anti-Russian hysteria going on in the United States and Europe now is, it's been to a large extent motivated by undermining the presidency of Trump. So, of course, presenting Trump as simply being a puppet of the Russians, or that he colluded with the Russians in order to become president. And last week you even had an absurd article coming out suggesting that Trump might have been a Russian asset since 1987. So it's So a lot of this anti-Russian hysteria is tied more to the internal politics of America rather than the realities of US-Russian relations.
In the meantime, Trump's political flip-flop on NATO and the EU has left Washington's allies in a confused state, wondering if their interests are aligned with the US anymore.